something that I can do and I don't need a motion. Does everybody understand what I've requested? You see that on your agenda? Action memorandum, item E on the first page, action memorandum number 20-062 has been moved to new business, which is on page 2 under H, and it'll be number 2 under H. So with that change, then do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Madam Mayor, I
Yes.
would move that we accept the, or approve the agenda as you have amended it.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, comments, or any other amendments that anyone would like to make? Okay, I don't see any then, so Madam Clerk, would you take the roll for the vote?
Yes, Madam Mayor, thank you. Deputy Mayor Linda Combs.
Yes.
Councilmember Sabrina Combs.
Yes.
Councilmember Jill Valerius.
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Carrington.
Yes.
Councilmember Richard Best.
Oops, maybe he's gone now, huh?
Councilmember Richard Best, note that he's not on at this time.
Okay.
Councilmember Julie Burbrick.
Yes.
Mayor Edna DeVries.
Yes.
Motion passes 6 yes, 1 absent.
Okay, thank you. The next item on our agenda is reports, and City Manager, you have a report for us, sir, please?
Yes, for a report that what you just approved on the consent agenda was an agreement with Everett's Air Cargo, and we had a gentleman in the audience that was approved, so you're free to enjoy your evening. So, and thank you very much for that. We have quite a few public hearings tonight to deal with many items regarding COVID and stuff that I know City Council is very concerned with, and I'm very proud to be a part of. So we are instituting some additional funding to go to our community to really kind of help our business, our nonprofits, our folks that are having trouble paying their mortgage or their rent, our daycare centers who keep our kids safe so mom and dad can go to work and keep our businesses afloat and the family financially healthy, and then our low cost and no cost food providers. So we'll have those at public hearings, but that's something we've been working diligently on. We are making progress, but we are working through uncertain times. I'm pretty confident that everything I bring to the City Council, it's going to be good to go. But we are wearing down. I mean, next week or the week after is going to be October, which means we really have 3 months to deal with the rest of this. So we've had public access. We have, I think, overestimated the demand and need. So we are looking at that, and we're looking at how we can make our services at City of Palmer better. And so one of the things that we'll be dealing with tonight is a couple things that really allow me to manage our folks safely and put us in the best position to serve without causing health concerns to our staff or the public. So that's all I have tonight under my report, and I'm happy to talk about anything when it comes up and during the public hearings. Thank you.
Does any of the council have any questions of the city manager regarding his report or anything else that you would like to inquire of him? Okay, I don't see anything else. Madam Clerk, do you have a report, please?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. So tonight I want to report on the election and the absentee by mail is one of those, and the AML, Alaska Municipal League Conference. So those ABM and AML acronyms, love the use that we have in government. We have so many, don't we? So I wanted to let everyone know that the absentee by mail did get the first batch, as I call them, did get mailed out last Wednesday. We sent out 211
Okay.
ballots. And then we did requests as we get them, we send them out, but we did have a batch that went out yesterday, so there was about 9 of those.
Okay.
As of tonight, we have about 38 returned. We have 38 returned.
Okay.
I know that. And I wanted just to let everybody know that the deadline, we are still accepting those applications until Tuesday, September 29th.
Okay.
So they need to be in my hands by Tuesday, the 29th. And then we will process our very last mail out on Wednesday, the 30th.
Okay.
Okay. One of the things that I'm very happy about with the absentee by mail is last year, last few years, but last year especially, I had spoken and spent some time with our post office and asked them, what can we do to better partner with them to get these absentee by mails turned over faster within the system, to make it quicker for us to be able to come to them and process these. And remember, last year we had 30. And it was quite the process. We were over there for quite some time. So this year, we called them ahead of time and we set up a special time that the deputy and I went over to have them process all of these, get the label, get accounted for, everything. And they were very accommodating for that. We redesigned the envelopes so that they were smaller. We weren't paying the oversized price like we have been the last few years.
that's
So we
good.
were able to get it to a proper size, which also meant that they didn't have to be hand processed,
Oh,
that the
that
machine
helps,
can
yeah.
process them. So that was a big fix. We used their election manual and designed these to actually be proper election material for a mail process. And the post office this year said a huge thank you. We definitely noticed a difference because people started getting their ballots the next day. Where in previous years we had seen that it would take a couple of days was the earliest that someone was getting. One person, it took even a little longer than that. So I'm really excited to see that all that effort, all that time and coordination with the post office, the postmaster and the main supervisor really has paid off and has done great dividends for us in that quick process of the ballots. And we saw that same overnight delivery with the batch that was mailed last night. Someone called today and said, I got my ballot. You know? People are excited. We're getting great feedback. I've gotten screenshots of people's informed delivery. The United States Postal Service has this service they provide called informed delivery, and they send a picture of what's in your mail for that day. So I'm getting pictures of those. It's been really fun to see our citizens excited about our October election this year. And that's a great refresh to getting the calls of what is happening. You know?
Yeah, right.
So I'm happy. They're excited about early voting started. They're excited about the absentee by mail as well. So it's been a good couple of days, and that leads us right into early voting has started. That started yesterday. We've gotten some good turnout on that. We had 17 people vote yesterday, 14 today. So we're happy with those numbers. Those are even higher than what last year's numbers were. Last year we were in single digits our first week. And so we do have one thing that I will contribute to this is the banner. Early voting sign and banner that we have on the corner of Evergreen and Colony Way. That was feedback that we got from quite a few citizens. I believe actually, we worked with Ailish there at the chamber to see how their signage was for Friday Flings and how the chamber utilized it and what kind of, return on investment basically that they got from that. And I think just in 2 days, I know that we definitely have gotten our ROI on that. So I'm very excited that we move forward with that banner, and thank you to the citizens. Thank you to employees, to council. I still have my list of plenty of other things that we'll be doing the next 2 weeks to help get this election promoted. But early voting has started. Good return on that so far. They're happy. A lot of people have come in and said, where's my state and borough ballot? So it's a good education opportunity as well to talk about how we're in October, the November, and the ladies said that they have been treated with great respect by everyone coming in so far. So that also makes me very happy.
Good.
So election, very excited. Canvas board will be held. So all these ballots that are getting returned, we will be canvassing them, and it will be held on Wednesday, the 7th,
Okay.
Thursday, the 8th, and ballots will be opened and counted if they are to be counted on Friday, the 9th. So we will start canvassing of all of the ballots on Wednesday, but nothing will be open and counted until Friday. So if anyone's interested in coming, 2 o'clock here at the council chambers. And each day we will go until we have reached a stopping point, and the canvas board election officials will gauge that themselves.
Okay, right.
Alaska Municipal League, as announced, they are in a total virtual conference this year. So it will be held for all council delegates the week of the 16th through Friday. And I'm looking at that 16th through Friday the 20th. So in the past, it was only a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This year, it is a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So if any council members you're interested in going, please block that entire week out on your schedule. It is all virtual. And the clerk's office obviously will be helping and assisting with scheduling. NEO will be held the week prior, and associate conferences like the mayors
Uh-huh.
and the managers will also be the week prior.
Okay.
So they're
But
doing
we
2
don't
weeks.
have a definite date yet, from what I've
Yes.
seen. I
Uh-huh.
mean, for the mayors, do we know which one of those days the week before is going to be?
Thursday or Friday. I do not know which of the
Okay,
two.
yeah, that's what I
But
had.
it's Thursday,
Okay,
Friday, yeah.
all right, okay.
Designated for that. So also their election will be held electronically. So all of the deadlines and the shifts of how the board positions and filing for those has all changed as well. And so
Okay.
Sabrina, Councilmember Combs, sorry. When you get to your report, maybe, I don't want to, well, I've already kind of told. I told, but she can expand on any of that. What I do know is it's just gone electronic and the deadlines have moved. But I
Okay.
don't know the details behind
Okay,
that.
okay.
That's all I know too. So.
Right. Nils
Okay.
is kind of keeping it under wrap, I
Okay.
guess.
Is Councilwoman Sabrina Combs, is your term up this year?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay, okay, all right.
And thank you very much. That's everything I have.
Okay. Anybody have any questions of the clerk regarding her report or anything else?
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Okay, all right. And my report is written. I have just a couple of additional items. The task force, as I had mentioned to you on the 911, is starting to be reorganized. We don't have a date yet for our first meeting. I did check with Amy today, who is our administrative assistant from the Department of Commerce and Economic Development, and she didn't know either when we would have our first meeting. We did receive a thank you card when former Mayor Henry Ganot's services were, they recommended or asked that we contribute to the food bank and instead of flowers. So we did that. So this thank you card is from them. It says, City of Palmer, thank you for your donation of $50 in memory of Henry Ganot. Your donation enables us to buy food for people in the valley who have needed help. God bless you, and Jeannie, and then may Henry rest in peace. So this is here. I'll give it to the clerk and she'll put it in the file, but I wanted you to know that it was, oops, sorry. So that is all that I have for my report. Any questions to me regarding my report or anything else? Okay. The next item is the city attorney's report. Mike, do you have a report for us?
Excuse me, yes, Madam Mayor, thank you.
Uh-huh.
One quick note, there was a very good team effort at the city with regard to the Hagelin Hangar bankruptcy and the placement of a new tenant in that hangar. You approved the documents in the consent agenda, and we expect that they'll be finalized tomorrow. And we're, I just want to thank everybody that worked on this. The airport superintendent, Julie O'Toole, the city manager, and a bankruptcy lawyer in Delaware that we had to be paid to assist us. So we see how that all evolves. It's one of the aftermath of really bankruptcy. Thank you, Madam Mayor, Council.
Okay. Is there any questions to the city attorney regarding his report or anything else? Okay, I don't see any questions. So the next item on our agenda, audience participation. Anyone is welcome in the audience to address the council. 3 minutes if you're representing yourself, 5 minutes if you're representing a group. Audience participation is now open.
Can you hear me okay? You can? Okay.
I can. Can
My name
those
is Eugene
on,
Carl Haberman. I live in the Metro Valley. I follow the public process. When the public process is done appropriately, the decision made by the governing body is more likely in the public interest. So, I'd like to express a deep, deep, deep concern on the procedures you just did prior to me coming up here. Your meeting agenda has several items that has action items. A lot of funding, particularly a lot of funds dealing with COVID. You took the actions without any chance for the public to speak. I remind you of the law, not the Open Meetings Act. It's a separate state law to provide a reasonable opportunity to publicly heard. Even the Borough Assembly, who your current city manager was on, the borough manager over there knows that kind of agenda is not what the Borough Assembly does. There's an audience participation before that, so at least there's a chance to say something. But what you have here is a whole series of items. I can't help but notice a lot of them calling for COVID monies for equipment dealing with the police. Also, I've read through the materials dealing with language of a way for be distant in the use of equipment, and I'm worried about. There's a lot of issues here. I don't have the time to address it, but you already passed the approval of the money. I strongly condemn this action, and you need to not only do a reconsideration, you need to stop it now. And I hold the city attorney over the years, and this is a perfect example. I charged them with malpractice in complying with these two laws. Malpractice because these are plain, simple truths that have been out there for years, where the courts have said how to do it, but you continue doing it your way and not the people's way. So, with all due respect, I remind you also in COVID time, you should not have less of a conversation with people, but more of a conversation with people. But this is not the way to do it. But obviously you're going to ignore it. And then the approval of minutes. What I've heard say to you will be on tape. But the end result is the minutes do not reflect what I say. Look at that standard line. I talked about public process, whatever. It's a cover-up, concealing of what I'm saying. So the public who looks at these documents here, without being able to listen to a tape, has no clue of the deceptions you're doing and how you're running your program. And this has been happening for years, and nothing's changed. But we are in COVID time, and this has got to stop now. Thank you. With 9 seconds to spare.
thank you.
Oh, yeah, hold on. Did you review the chamber?
Yep. All right. Good evening, everyone. You can't see me, but this is Ailish from the Greater Palmer Chamber of Commerce. I am here for my monthly update to the council. I'm sorry I missed August. That was not my intention, but it happened just with timing. So I just wanted to give a few updates on some items that we've got going on. As you all probably know, we have wrapped up our Friday Fling season. It was a great season, despite some hurdles in the beginning, but we did receive some great feedback from concerned patrons about some of the ways that we were doing things, and we made some changes. And so I think all in all, it was great for what we had to deal with. And we were able to expand into September. And the last Friday we had was fantastic. And this last Friday, I'm pretty sure it was snowing in the mountains and raining in town. So it was nice to end when it was still warm and not snowing. So we were happy for that. And I wanted to thank the city specifically because we were allowed to expand our footprint of Friday Fling this year to allow more spacing between the booths. And so I just wanted to thank the city of Palmer. Worked with Brad on that, and just that really helped us add in some more vendors, but also provide more space so everyone could spread out a little bit. We are planning, even though I'm not ready to talk about Christmas yet, we are moving ahead and moving forward with a Colony Christmas celebration. That will be December 11th through the 13th, and we might be making some changes to indoor craft fairs, but everything outdoors we are planning to move forward with as normal. The parade and fireworks and everything, we feel pretty confident that we can do those safely. Of course, we're always ready to adapt and pivot if we need to. So if we have to take things and change them a little bit, we have plenty of time to do so. So we look forward to working with the city for our Colony Christmas event. I think everyone will be really happy with having an outdoor winter festival, even if it's cold and windy. We are not doing our traditional fundraiser for the chamber this fall. We are doing a new fundraiser. It's a raffle, and I think I left it on my chair, but we're bringing back the bingle, or I should say the bingle is back. So for those of you that don't know, the bingle was a form of currency that was issued by the US government and distributed by the ARRC back when the colonists settled, and they could use it in the commissary. So what we're doing is bringing that back for businesses to use, or for people to use as currency in our local businesses. And so that guarantees that the money stays in our town. And so we're going to give away $1,000 worth of bingos instead of cash. So we are guaranteeing that that money is staying in the city instead of someone taking it to Costco or anywhere in Anchorage or anything like that. So really excited about it. It's kind of an adaptation of an idea that Homer Chamber is doing. So our little bingos are pretty cool. You'll start seeing those on the internet. And if you get our newsletter, they were in the newsletter today. So we will have $1,000 worth of that. And then we're thinking about also switching to using the bingo for our Shop Palmer cash drawing. So instead of a Visa gift card, we will give away $1,000 in those bingos. So the business owners are excited about it. We're excited about it. Guaranteeing that money stays in our community is really exciting, and that's what we're here for. So I'm proud of my board for working with me on that idea. They always think I'm crazy for coming to them with ideas, but then they help me make them happen. So I feel very lucky to have such good support. It's been nice working with City Manager Moosey on a couple of items. Excited to see the Palmer Community app moving forward. We look forward to helping with that. I got to sit down and look at the early design with John and Alopex. And I'm also here just to listen to see what the city is going to do about second round of funding. I know that the businesses that applied really appreciated the first round, but there are more needs that are out there, especially with winter coming. And we're going to try and do some more things for our small businesses this winter, but every little bit helps. And lastly, we co-hosted with the Mat-Su Valley Frontiersmen a candidate forum last Thursday. So I wanted to thank you to Deputy Mayor Linda Combs, Councilwoman Sabrina Combs, and Brian Daniels for joining us for that. Everyone did great, and it was well received, and a big thanks to Tim Rocky from the Frontiersmen for helping us put all that together. So that is my update. Thank you all so very much, and look forward to a nice long fall.
Anyone else that'd like to address the council? Okay, seeing no one, I will close audience participation. The next item on our agenda is public hearing, and we have both 20-009, 010, and 011 that have to do with our employees and COVID and leave, etc. Would the council be okay in opening the public hearing for all three of those at the same time? And if somebody wants to testify on any one of them, we could give them, you know, an extra couple minutes, maybe 5 minutes instead of 3 if they wanted to testify on all 3 or something. So how does the council feel regarding that? Okay, alrighty. So, I'm going to open the public hearing for ordinance 20-009, amending the Palmer Municipal Code, Chapter 4.15.050, employment pertaining to the probationary period. Ordinance number 20-010, amending Palmer Municipal Code, Chapter 4.3, types of leave pertaining to administrative leave for COVID-19. Ordinance number 20-011, enacting Palmer Municipal Code Section 4.30.190, types of leave pertaining to employee telemarketing. So, did anyone want a staff report before I open the public hearing? Okay, I don't see anything. So, public hearing on 009, 010, and 011 is now open. Want to switch the cameras, ma'am? Thank you.
If you have 3, that means 9 minutes.
We're going to give you 5 if you want to talk about all 5.
Question to the city manager, is the standard procedure even where you used to work, that if there were 3 items on the agenda, is 3 times 3, 9 minutes? Is that been the practice of Borough Assembly?
I work for City of Palmer now.
But wasn't that the practice when you were working over there?
It was whatever Mayor Halter decided.
Mayor, do you want to do that?
Yeah, let's give 5.
My name is Eugene Carl Haberman. I live in the Metro Valley. Follow the public process. When the public process is done appropriately, decision made by the governing body is more likely to public interest. From the start of me speaking, it's clear that you do not want to have a process of fairness, even speaking in the amount of time. Had you had these items individually and called each person up for the single hearing item, it would have been 3 minutes. You know that, but you're showing contempt of this basic law to provide a reasonable opportunity to public heard, and you're escaping any punishment from doing that. So what I'll say here is this, on a general statement on these items, because it would have been nice to hear staff reports on this, but then you're going to have, after public hearing, reports from staff on questions that you have, but doesn't have the public the right to hear that information before they come up here? So that's another escapement that's not right at all. And I'd like to remind you, at the Borough Assembly, they've done something, they move in the direction that before public hearing on a given item, they get staff reports, they put that request out. That's something new, and I applaud them for doing that. But you're escaping that scenario. So you need to continue public hearing on these items. You need to give a fair chance for the public to address what's going on here. You've escaped COVID by, even in this room, you're talking about the issue of employees and leave and all that kind of stuff. But the fact is, I'm in a room right now, and how many wearing face coverings? How many are wearing face coverings? But you have legislation here. It would be nice when I'm speaking that you're listening to this, what I'm saying, instead of the mayor and the clerk engaging in conversation. And that's another disruption. So it's a puzzle, but it shouldn't be much of a puzzle, because you do not really care about this illness, because you're doing whatever you want to do. But I remind the words I've said since day one, that this face covering here is a message to everyone else that you care about what's going on, the safety of others around you. And you're dealing with funds, and now you're dealing with legislation here that's calling for issues dealing with employees. But you're escaping any escaping any right way of doing and dealing with the public being in these rooms and the employees in these rooms. I have to force these doors open for fresh air. And then look at this room now. You have signs up there, and we're talking about.
Sir,
Chloe,
sir.
excuse me, I'll close with this, since you're cutting my time so much. You have signs up there saying physical distancing is 6 feet. You had few number of seats in this room because of that illness. What's changed now is you have more seats here. You're asking people to be 6 feet distance, and you cannot get 6 feet distance from that to that chair there. This is a contempt, and this is wrong. And I'll close with this, even with a short amount of time. I even have 2 minutes, roughly 2 minutes left here. I'll close with this. Why all this has continued over the years, particularly in COVID, is the frontiersman in the back, Rocky, who is concealing what I say at these meetings. And I believe strongly the reason why is there's a bulk of the funds that the frontiersman gets is in advertising by the borough. And if they don't get that money, there's a big trouble of them operating. So this is wrong. But what's new? Oh, by the way, standard line of what I say at this comment is I speak about public process. So you heard something differently, but the minutes will not reflect what I just said here. Thank you.
I'd just like to remind the audience that when we have a public hearing on certain ordinances, your testimony is to deal with that ordinance, those ordinances, or that ordinance.
It was
But
germane.
that,
You are not correct.
you are out of order, sir.
You are out of order in what you just said.
So, anyway, the public hearing for those 3 items is still open, but I would like to remind the public if they would like to testify that the testimony has to do with these 3 items. Is there anyone else that would like to testify? Okay. Seeing no one, does the council have any objections to me closing the public hearing? No. So the public hearing on ordinance number 20-009, 20-010, and 20-011 has been closed. What is the wishes of the council? Yes, Councilwoman Sabrina Combs?
Madam Mayor, I move to approve ordinance numbers 20-009, 20-010, and 20-011.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. So the motion has been made to approve the 3 ordinances, 009, 010, and 011. Discussion, amendments, questions, comments? Okay, I don't see anyone, so Madam Clerk, would you take the roll for the vote,
Yes,
please?
Madam
Thank
Mayor.
you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Councilmember Jill Valerius,
Yes.
Councilmember Sabrina Combs,
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Carrington,
Yes.
Councilmember Richard Best,
Let me see.
Councilmember Richard Best, you're showing muted.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. I have written that down as a yes. That's what I heard. Councilmember Julie Berberick,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Linda Combs,
Yes.
Mayor Edna DeVries.
Yes.
I heard 7 yeses, 0 no.
Great, thank you. The next item on our agenda is Resolution 20-023, authorizing Round 2 of the City of Palmer Aid and Relief and Economic Security Act, the CARES Act, grants. This is a public hearing on Resolution 20-023, and I'll remind the people that are testifying that they are to testify on this resolution. Public hearing is now open.
I'll be extremely brief. And how brief I'll be is, oh, wait a minute. You have 5 minutes up there, so what's the story? Are you doing one item or are you doing a bunch of them together?
I'm working on changing the time, sir. I'm working on it.
Okay, well,
Hold on, let me get the video changed over to you. Keep going.
well, I'll be real brief on this whole thing, and basically you could take my comments for the remaining of the items on the agenda, basically, and all I'm gonna say is this. I plead with you to have a continuation of public hearing on all items. This is the right thing to do. Look how many people who testified tonight on the previous ones. And this is not, we're talking about federal funds and how you're using it, and hasn't been used right. And, but I suspect you're not gonna continue public hearing on these items, and you're gonna do whatever you wanna do. So, with all due respect, that's not the right way to do it. And I'll say this, whatever I say here tonight, I know the silent majority is out there, and they agree with what I'm doing. The only reason why you're able to continue doing this and other stuff I said is simply that the cooperation of the press has allowed you to control the message, and nothing gets changed, and you continue to deteriorate the public process. That's with 1 minute and 55 seconds to spare. That ends my remarks.
Is there anyone else that would like to address the council on resolution 20-023? Council, I don't see anyone else coming forward. Does the council have any objections to me closing the public hearing? No, okay. So public hearing on resolution 20-023 has now been closed. What is the wishes of the council?
Madam Mayor?
Deputy Mayor, go ahead.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I would, propose that the council approve resolution number 20-23.
Okay. Is there, okay, thank you. So it's been moved and seconded that we approve resolution 20-023. Any comments, amendments, questions by the council? Okay, I see heads shaking no. Madam Clerk, would you like to go ahead and take the, call the roll for the vote, please?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor.
Mhm.
Councilmember Joe Valerius,
Madam Mayor.
Uh-huh, Councilman Best.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. In the resolution, under the nonprofit cares competitive grants, the 400,000,
Uh-huh.
the very last line,
Thank you.
there's a 0 in place of an O. Of course, it's 200,000 to 2,360,546.24.
On which page are you, sir?
161.
Oh, one,
161.
okay.
The 2O, it's T-O, not the number 2.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was looking for,
Yeah, in the word.
I was looking for points, so. Oh,
I was looking at the numbers.
It was,
yeah, okay. Yeah, recovers appropriation by 200,000 to, and it's a T0, right? So you're changing that to 20, okay, thank you.
it was just a grammatical thing that I'm sure would get picked up, and it would be, not germane to us passing it, but it was something I want to point out.
Good, thank you,
I
thank
think
you, sir.
Scrivener did that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, sir, for bringing that to our attention. Any other discussion on this resolution before I call for the vote? Okay, all right. All righty, now, Madam Clerk, if you will go ahead and tally the council regarding their vote on 023.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councilmember Joe Valerius,
Yes.
Councilmember Sabrina Combs,
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Carrington,
Yes.
Councilmember Richard Best,
Yeah.
Councilmember Julie Berberick,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Linda Combs,
Yes.
Mayor Edna DeVries.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay. The next item on our agenda is the public hearing on resolution 20-024. And I neglected at the very beginning of the council meeting tonight to ask if there was any conflict of interest on anything in my very efficient city clerk just passed me a note, so. On the remaining items on the council agenda, is there any conflict of interest of anything? No, okay, great, thank you. So, the next item is to open the public hearing on resolution 20-024. The public hearing is open for resolution 20-024. So, council, I do not see anybody coming forth to testify on resolution 20-024. Does the council have any objections to me closing the public hearing? Okay. Alrighty, so the public hearing on resolution 20-024 is now closed. What is the wishes of the council? Yes, Councilwoman Sabrina Combs?
Madam Mayor, I move to approve resolution 20-024.
Okay, is there a second? Thank you, I see that hand. It's been moved and seconded that we approve resolution 20-024. Discussion, amendments to the motion, questions? Okay. Madam Clerk, I think we're ready then for the vote, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes. Councilmember Jill Valerius,
Yes.
Councilmember Sabrina Combs,
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Carrington,
Yes.
Councilmember Richard Best,
Yes.
Councilmember Julie Berberich,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Linda Combs,
Yes.
Mayor Edna DeVries.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay. The next item on our agenda is a public hearing on resolution 20-025. And it's authorizing CARES funding for no-cost, low-cost food service providers. And if you look on page 183, there is in the resolution 2 now therefores, and the last now therefore be further resolved will be removed. So in case any of you noticed that or had a question regarding that, So I will open the public hearing on resolution 20-025. Anyone is welcome to address the council on this resolution. 3 minutes if you're representing yourself, 5 minutes if you're representing a group. Okay, council, I don't see anybody coming forth to testify. Do you have any opposition to me closing the public hearing? No? Okay. So resolution 20-025, the public hearing is now closed. What is the wishes of the council? Councilwoman Sabrina Combs?
To approve.
Okay. Councilwoman Valerius, you want a second since I've seen your hand a second? Okay, thank you. So it's been moved and seconded that we approve resolution 20-025. Any questions, comments, amendments? Okay. Madam Clerk, I think, yes, Councilman Best, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just for clarification, this would be for entities much like food bank, Meals on Wheels programs. Am I correct?
He can't see you, so maybe verbally you should answer. He's on the
I'm
phone.
sorry. I held up my thumbs up. Yes.
Any further questions? Thank you, sir. Any further questions? Okay, alrighty, now, Madam Clerk, if you'll go ahead and
Yes.
take the roll for
Thank
the
you, Madam
vote,
Mayor.
please, thank you.
Councilmember Sabrina Combs,
Yes.
Councilmember Jill Valerius,
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Carrington,
Yes.
Councilmember Julie Berberich,
Yes.
Councilmember Richard Best,
Yes.
Mayor Edna DeVries, no, Deputy Mayor Linda Combs,
Yes.
Mayor Edna DeVries.
Yes,
Motion passes unanimously.
okay. The next item on our agenda is a public hearing on resolution 20-026, and this is the CARES funding for the housing assistant. The public hearing on resolution 20-026 is now open. Anyone is welcome to address the council on this item. 3 minutes if you're representing yourself, 5 minutes if you're representing a group. Okay, council, no one has come forth. Do you have any objections to me closing the public hearing? Okay. So the public hearing on resolution 20-026 is now closed. Deputy Mayor?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I, would like to move that, the city council, approve resolution number 20-026.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, thank you. So it's been moved and seconded that we approve resolution 20-026. Any discussion, questions, amendments to the motion by the council?
Madam Mayor?
Yes, Deputy Mayor, go ahead.
For, just so it's on the record, or for anybody that's listening and they don't have it in front of them, I, wanted to point to the Alaska Housing Finance Corporation partnership providing the housing relief, for homeowners and renters in the amount of $250,000. This, as well as the rest of the resolutions, have all been crafted very well, and, are directly helping individuals within our community that have been impacted adversely by COVID-19. And I think that the city of Palmer's doing an excellent job of administering them. So definitely housing and food in particular, the last one we just approved, those are two of the main things that people need the most. And I'm proud to be voting yes on both.
Okay, any further comments from the council? Okay, yes, Deputy, I'm sorry, Councilman Best.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. If we can get clarification from the city manager.
Absolutely.
On how this program functions, just a kind of a thumbnail, would appreciate it.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
So yes, thank you for asking. So what this will be is an agreement with the Alaska Housing Finance Corporation. They have a similar program that they have set up with money they receive from the federal government through the state of Alaska. They also have a couple other communities that they've already set this up with, and I believe Wasilla is also attempting to do this as well. So how we do it, City Council approves this. We have an agreement with them. They will administer the program. They have all the criteria and staff set up to do the assistance, because that's pretty much their job. And they will do that to no cost to the city of Palmer or to the grant program. So all $250,000 will go to help the residents of the city of Palmer. This is for people for rental assistance and also too for mortgage assistance. And there's a qualification there. If you're not hurt and not in that group, you're not eligible, but those most vulnerable are. I would like to, and I think I am very proud and pleased to be a part of this. I think it's a tremendous opportunity, but there's also a selfish reason to do this. If we have, our folks that own rental facilities and they cannot pay their mortgages because there's not rent coming into them, or you own a home and you cannot make 2, 3, 4, 5 mortgage payments, that is going to affect the value and the stock of our housing in the city of Palmer. So while this really helps the most vulnerable, it really helps, I believe, all of us to keep the value of our homes and really protect all our investments that we put into this town. And so some people get it. I think we'll all benefit from it.
Good. Excellent point, sir. Councilman Best, do you have a follow-up?
No, Madam Mayor, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments before I have the clerk ask for your vote? Okay. Madam Clerk, will you go ahead and ask for the vote on resolution 20-026?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Deputy Mayor Linda Combs?
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Carrington?
Yes.
Councilmember Julie Burbrick?
Yes.
Councilmember Richard Best?
No.
Councilmember Sabrina Combs,
Yes.
Councilmember Jill Valerius,
Yes.
Mayor Edna DeVries.
Yes.
Motion passes 6 yes, 1 no.
Okay. The next item on our agenda is new business, action memorandum number 20-070, directing the city manager to notify the state of Alaska of the city council's objection of, a statement, of non-objection for the AK Rose Brewery liquor license number 5032 of outdoor/indoor alcohol consumption security plan. What is the wishes of the council?
Madam Mayor, move to approve.
Okay, is there a second? Okay,
Second.
thank you. I seen both hands of Councilwoman Valerius and Councilwoman Burbrick, but I heard Councilwoman Burbrick's voice, so I'll leave that up to the clerk to fight that battle. So, is there discussion, amendment to the motion, questions, anything regarding the approval of action memorandum 20-070?
Staff report.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, city manager, please.
Okay. So they requested the diagram change to seek approval for outdoor storage and outdoor consumption at their business. Everything that I've been able to investigate is Arcos Brewery has been a good neighbor, providing good service. And essentially, they need space to serve and keep in business during this COVID. We're all trying to find ways of still doing business and keep our patrons and customers safe, and that's what they're attempting to do.
Okay. Further questions from any of the council members or follow-up from Councilman Best? Okay. Alrighty. Madam Clerk, then would you take the roll for the approval or on action memorandum 20-070?
Yes, thank you. Councilmember Sabrina Combs,
Yes.
Councilmember Julie Burbrick,
Yes.
Councilmember Richard Best,
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Carrington,
Yes.
Councilmember Jill Valerius,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Linda Combs,
Yes.
Mayor Edna DeVries.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay. Now, the additional item number 2 under new business, which we moved from the consent agenda, is found on page 83 of your packet tonight. And so if everybody has that, would you like to have a staff report before we do the approval of this action memorandum? Yes. Okay, city manager, we're ready for a,
I apologize, the grandkids are trying to FaceTime me. Okay, so thank you very much for your consideration. So we are attempting to replace the carpet in the library. Trying to do this at the most practical cost we can. But there is a cost for the carpet, but there's almost a 50% cost on actually moving all the books, the stacks, to get it out of the way and then moving back. So when we went out for bids and we put this this ordinance or action memorandum there, we got the best price we could for the carpet, and we assumed we could get a better price for the moving. The original bid from the company doing the carpet, the moving was $29,500. We thought that was high. We went out for other quotes. The other quotes came in at $43,238, $53,000, $60,000, and $42,000. So we are using this. The carpet is worn. It cannot be clean. We're concerned about kicking up the carpet during this time of pandemic. We have the funds through COVID for this. And my thought was at first to bring this back mid-October for this extra. However, because we have December 30th deadline, I would ask for consideration to change the number from 55,744 to 87,100, all going to the East Side Carpet. So that's my request for you. We got quotes for it. It's the best deal we could find. And by having the 3 extra weeks, we can be assured that this work will be done by the end of the year. One thing as manager I'm always concerned with, if we start these programs, and right now under the law, if we're halfway through, the city has to come up with the other half of that money on the other side of December 30th. So we're working real hard to make sure that doesn't happen, and you can help us with that. I appreciate your consideration.
Alrighty, so that's the staff report. What is the council's wishes regarding action memorandum 20-062?
Madam Mayor, move to approve.
Okay, do you want to include the new amount, or should we make that as an amendment to the new amount? I think it'd be easier maybe just if you would just approve it with the amount not to exceed $87,100.
So moved.
Okay. Is there a second? I see. Okay. So the motion is to approve action memorandum 20-062, and that includes the new amount not to exceed of $87,100. Discussion, questions, amendments to the motion by the council? Okay, Madam Clerk, I don't see any hands or anything, so if you call the roll.
Okay.
It looks like you have a question on your face, did you?
Oh, I do read very well. I was wondering, I'm still trying to figure out, was that Councilmember Valerius or Burberick that seconded?
Yeah,
And
Councilwoman
Valerius,
Valerius.
that's
She
what I
got
thought.
her
Thank you.
hand
I
up
saw her
this time
hand.
first and her mouth open this time first too.
Perfect. So I'll start with those that made the motion. Councilmember Sabrina Combs.
Yes.
Councilmember Jill Valerius.
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Carrington.
Yes.
Councilmember Richard Best.
No.
Councilmember Julie Burberick.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Linda Combs.
Yes.
Mayor Edna DeVries.
Yes,
Motion passes.
okay,
6 yes, 1 no.
okay. The next item on our agenda is record of items placed on the table. Madam Clerk?
We do not have any items placed on the table.
Okay. And then the next item on our agenda is audience participation. Anyone in the audience can address the council. 3 minutes if you're representing yourself and 5 minutes if you're representing a group. Audience participation is now open.
My name is Eugene Carl Haberman. I live in the Metro Valley. I follow the public process. When the public process is done appropriately, decision made by the government body is more like the public interest. First, I will compliment the council here on one area and compare you to another governing body. Yes, when you do have a council meeting, you do have a place on the agenda for public comment. Even if you have a subject like executive session, you move an executive session, you at least have a chance for the public to speak before you go into executive session. So you do that well, with respect. But tomorrow, the school board is having a special meeting, 6 o'clock. The one item on the agenda, and when I say school board, the Valley School Board, because there's a lot of school boards in the state, is the labor negotiations. There is no place on the agenda for public comment. They open the meeting and they're going to go straight into a scenario of voting to go into executive session. And when they do that, when they come out of executive session, they don't come out into the meeting room of the school board like you do, respectively. You come out of executive session, you come in, you vote to get out of executive session. They have a practice of not doing that. And what is the subject that's before them is labor negotiations. Now, last week before the vote was taken by the unions dealing with whether or not to strike, I strongly protested any call for strike. They should not strike or even vote to strike. The word strike I don't know anywhere in the country, as I said before the Borough Assembly and the school board last week, where do we hear that word? And I look at one word that stands out is greed. This is not the place for strike. We're in COVID time. It's also not the time for government bodies to have negotiations with contracts with government employees. What's that say to the private sector out there? People who don't have a job right now and hope to get a job again. Businesses are wondering if they're going to stay open or not and reopen. This is a very bad message. It's also a national news story. The fact is, one place in this country, they even use the word strike. And so, with all due respect, it's out there too. It's despicable. It's wrong. And then they remind you again, reasonable opportunity will be heard at the state law, and they're not doing it at that meeting tomorrow night with the school board in the borough. That closes my comments with 16 seconds to spare. Oh, footnote, you know, when you have representatives of police in Palmer in this room, they should be in uniform. They do that in Anchorage, and I've seen them do it at the city council with Scylla. Don't save money on uniforms in laundry. Wear a uniform.
For the record, that is his uniform.
That's, the chief of police in Wasilla wears a uniform. That's not an appropriate uniform.
Ours is high ranking.
That's how bad that response is.
Hi, my
Hi.
name is Mike Malewski. I live in the city of Palmer at 325 East Fireweed Avenue. I just wanted to compliment Tim Rocky for putting together a forum that invited the candidates for the city council to appear and have an opportunity to present themselves to the public. And also mention that Radio Free Palmer did a similar thing, but different. And that set of interviews that included the two sitting council members who are running again, as well as Ron Daniels, is available up on our website. And I think it shows, I know for us, a commitment to ensure that as a part of the media, that we do provide information about what's happening, whether it's the election process itself or the candidates, and to do that as clearly as we can within our resources. So again, there were two separate efforts. Tim's effort was separate from ours, and I think it, in many ways these days, overcame some of the difficulties that we have when we normally would have a chance to do a forum or debate or whatever with people. And in fact, in many ways, this allows those times to be available so that you can go to our website, you can go to a YouTube site, and if you've missed it during the time it was alive and happening, you can look again. So just wanted to touch base on that and say, yep, it's there, take a look. Thank you.
Anyone else from the audience that would like to testify or call something to, bring something to the council's attention? Okay, seeing no one else come forward, I'll close audience participation. Council comments, and it'll start up in the corner. Councilman Carrington, you're up in the far corner. Do you have some comments?
I was gonna say the good news was when I went to Costco on a Sunday, I bought a scraper. And the bad news was I had to use it yesterday morning on my wife's car. The good news was that I was in Fairbanks at the time. But it was beautiful fall colors driving back down. But it's that time of year. It's coming.
Yeah. Okay, is that it then? Councilwoman Sabrina Combs?
Thank you. I just want to say thank you to Ailish and the work that the Palmer Chamber Board is doing. I already have my raffle ticket and I'm going to win that $1,000 worth of wooden coins, because I'm excited about it. So make sure everyone gets their tickets, because they're only selling 200. And I've heard that the board members are competing to see who can sell theirs first. So thanks for coming in and giving a presentation to English. Thanks.
Councilwoman Berbert?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Would like to say thank you also to Mr. Musi and Gina for all the work that they continue to do with the CARES Act funding and making sure that that money is getting spent wisely and in a beneficial way for the city of Palmer. I also am very appreciative of Ailish coming in and giving us updates on the chamber. I think we're really lucky to have such an active chamber that does so much for the city and so much for our small businesses in the city of Palmer. Mr. Carrington's day is officially the first day of fall, but I think you're right, winter is coming.
Okay. Deputy Mayor Combs?
Before I just got off track here a little bit. It's not the first day of fall. It's my son's 47th birthday. So for anybody who is interested, I'm going to put I'm going to send to the city clerk a picture of the poster that hangs and has hung in my home for many, many years that is commemorating the use of the Bengals. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it the right way, but when they did it before. And I've got a poster, framed poster of that commemorates, and we should have one down at City Hall, I believe, outside of the city manager's office, or we used to. So, and I think it's a great idea to use that again. I think our Chamber of Commerce has always had a sterling reputation for promoting Palmer, promoting businesses in Palmer, and they continue to do so, and it's just it's marvelous to watch over the years how they do that. I'd like to make sure, I'm sure we'll do it again here in a few weeks, but you know, the city clerk's office has worked long and hard hours, all of them, to take not only their duties in response to elections extremely seriously, but I know there's been a little bit of nerves because we are in uncertain times, and want to make sure that everybody's going to say, hey, Palmer did it the right way, and I really think that Norma and her crew, all of them have been doing so. I've heard so many wonderful comments from individuals regarding getting information when they call City Hall in particular, how impressed they are with everybody being so knowledgeable and so helpful. And I think it is exciting. You know, you try something all the time to make people understand about elections, and I'm going to give 2 thumbs up here to the city clerk's office in that regard. So the last thing would be that tonight's agenda shows as much as ever that the COVID-19 pandemic has in fact impacted the daily lives of everyone that we come in contact with in our wonderful community. And everybody else is going to say it, but I don't think it'd be said enough how proud I am of the staff of the city of Palmer. And I've talked individually with several people, the city manager, Brad Hansen, Gina, and a few others that have worked on coming up with these applications, coming up with the way to legally and carefully and very thoughtfully distribute these funds so that no matter what the situation, we can say it's a food thing, it's a daycare thing, it's a let's help businesses stay in business thing. You know, it doesn't matter. Everyone's been impacted in some way, or most people have, and to be able to help in, again, a very thoughtful, mindful, manner of giving the absolute best service to our residents in the city. There's just not enough, laudatory words to use for that. So I'll just say thank you from my heart. I know that my neighbors are thanking me. So I've had several business owners stop me and say, you know, the city of Palmer, unlike and some others that you read about in papers, has just done an outstanding job. So I don't know if you guys hear it often enough. I want you to hear it. I'd like anybody that's listening to hear it too. So other than that, again, yep, it's gonna be chilly tonight. I'm glad my new car is inside the garage. So everybody take care.
Councilwoman Valerius, comments?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think all I can do is echo what people have already said. I'm really excited about the idea of Colony Days actually happening this winter, and thank you to Mr. Moosey and Ms. Davis for working so hard with this CARES funding.
Okay. Councilman Best, comments?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I will reiterate some of the things that Councilman Carrington said. It is beautiful out there. Get out, stretch your legs a little bit, enjoy these fall colors and the beauty that we have surrounding us. Don't let everything in our lives kind of stagnate due to fears and things that are going on. Also, I'd like to say that I was able to participate in the early voting. I am a person who enjoys my in-person voting, and if you have fears and you have needs that require for you to have a little more caution in your life, there's a great opportunity. The poll workers had their barriers up and they had their masks on, and it was a safe environment, very clean, and were cleaned once you utilize them, very, very safe. But there's a sense in filling that in that bubble and putting it in the envelope. And that's very satisfying. So I encourage folks, there was no lines, participate, go out and vote, and let your voices be heard. Thank you.
So with that, I'll adjourn the meeting.